the focus of today's conversation is really how are we dealing with the fact that cannabis is now legalized in many states throughout the United States, and as a company, how do we address that, and what are some tools available? And particularly, we're going to talk about the AlertMeter as a tool to be able to deal with this new reality. Employees tested positive for marijuana had a 55% more chances for industrial accidents, 85% more injuries, and 75% more absenteeism. You know, this has a big impact on your company. So the question is, how are we going to deal with this? Now it's legal, what do we do? There's been study after study after study of the reality of drug testing. The impact is really weak. It's not getting people what they're paying for. It's expensive. So how do we deal with the fact that people may be toking up and they're coming to work and they might be high in the moment, or they toked up a week ago, but it's still in their bloodstream. And now if we do a random, we might lose one of our best employees. And it's more than just drug use. It's everything. So as many of you are aware, a lot of workplace incidents are more than alcohol or drug abuse. It's fatigue, it's low blood sugar, it's issues in the family, it's all sorts of emotional things that came up. My spouse had me binge watch Netflix last night until 3 o'clock in the morning. My kid was sick. I'm going through a divorce. These are all the things that can cause people to really not focus on their jobs. So the challenge is more than even with cannabis, how do we check to see if somebody's alert? Can they focus on their job? Can they get through their job throughout the day? Or do we need to help them get through the job? Or in some cases, if it's significant, maybe we do need to send them home, because we certainly don't want somebody that hasn't slept for 36 hours to be on the end of a crane. So how do we test for that? How do we do that? How do we know that? Today, people look in your eyes, they see you in a line out in the morning, maybe in a safety briefing, and we're constantly trying to evaluate our employees, but there's not enough time in the day and there's not enough supervisors around in order to do an effective evaluation of everybody each day. That's where AlertMeter comes in. So let's take a look and see what AlertMeter is all about. It's a really quick tool. It can run on a mobile device. It can also run on a tablet that might be posted on a wall. It can even run on your desktop computer. And so at the end of the test, you're presented with your results. And Carol, I know you're on the line here, and maybe you can talk about this, because this is actually your results, and you see those 2 dots in the red, and I'll have Carol talk about that.
So back in May, I've been taking the AlertMeter. I'm a employee of Predictive Safety. I'm one of the founders too. I've been taking the AlertMeter for a couple of years, and normally I stay in a normal range, which in the green and yellow you can see I just kind of weave in and out of there, and I'm either really alert today or maybe I'm a little groggy, but no big deal. And on May 17th of this year, I had a close family member pass away. It was a Sunday. I spent all day on the phone with everyone, did a lot of crying, slept that night, woke up Monday morning, May 18th, and thought, okay, I'm still very much not myself, but I'm fine. I can do this. I can go ahead and go to work. So I took the alertness test, and as you can see by those 2 buttons there, I could not score within my normal range. So if I had gotten on a crane, if I had gotten behind the wheel of a truck, I would have been a danger to myself and others, because I just couldn't focus enough to get back to work safely.
Thanks, Carol. And yeah, that's really what this is all about, is what is your ability to focus? So the protocol is generally, I come into work at the beginning of my shift. When I clock in, I take the test. If I score outside my normal range, that's what that red mark is that you see on the screen, I'm prompted to take the test again, and I have 5 minutes to take the test again. The question is, can I get my brain in the game? So if I still can't respond to the test in my normal fashion the second time I take it, what's going to happen is a notification is going to go out to the supervisor or manager saying, hey, go have a conversation with Jeff and just check in with him. Maybe Jeff is fine. Maybe it was like with Carol, where you had a death in the family. You're going to talk about that. How do you get through the day? Maybe put him on a less safety sensitive job. Or in some unusual cases, and the topic of this is cannabis in the workplace, you might notice behavior that is not normal. So in many cases, companies will use AlertMeter as an opportunity to retrain folks on reasonable suspicion, because now you have an objective tool to bring to your attention the fact that somebody is not on their game, and you want your supervisor to be trained appropriately to evaluate what's going on with that person and make appropriate decisions. Very rarely is the decision made to send somebody home. Well, we've got a good amount of time left here. I want to introduce Zach Galbraith. He's with VForge Incorporated in Denver. Zach has had a lot of experience with AlertMeter and working with people on it and in his company. And I'd like to open it up for Zach to introduce himself. Zach, welcome. Thank you.
Hey.